Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
WRAL is staying on top of several breaking news stories this morning, including 3 people found dead inside a Cary home. This morning, the information police are telling us, including their names and ages.
Plus, authorities are searching for 2 girls and a man they may be with in our state. The Amber Alert issued just after midnight.
And a bus driver is charged with breaking a 3-year-old's leg. The questions we have this morning as we expect to see her in court.
And some isolated showers possible this afternoon, mainly in our southern counties. I'll walk you through the rain that we're expecting with the front tomorrow.
Of course, a lot of people asking how that person is accused of breaking that 3-year-old's leg. We're following that story and others here on WRAL News. We do want to say thank you for joining us here on Fox 50. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Happy Tuesday. Hope your Tuesday's off to a nice start. It is a little chilly out there, but it's going to warm up really nicely. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with a look over Apex.
Looking at some cloud cover to start with this morning. We're starting with temperatures in the mid-40s to low 50s. Right now it's 52 in the Triangle. Our winds are calm right now. We will see a good bit of cloud cover going forward, and we have the potential for a few isolated showers later today, especially in our southern counties. We'll pause it there at 2 o'clock, and you can see some of this rain starting to push in. It'll likely be from Raleigh and Durham southward, most of it south of Raleigh. And boy, it's still going to be, a really small amount, 1/10 of an inch at the most. This is going to be sort of the leading plume of moisture out ahead of our front that comes in tomorrow. It will be a mild day, temperatures in the low 70s, but it won't feel quite as bright and beautiful as it did yesterday. We'll talk about how much rain we could see with tomorrow's front, and then the big changes in terms of the wind and the cold headed our way. Coming up, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, we are following some breaking news, actually. This is on I-85 in the southbound lanes up around Norlina. You see purple on the map. That means that road is completely shut down because of a crash. This is happening right all the way past Henderson this morning, up around Norlina, Snow Hill. The I-85 is completely shut down. So if you got friends or family coming in from D.C. or even Richmond, Virginia, whatever the case may be, let them know that I-85 is completely shut down. They probably need to go the I-95 route just to be on the safe side. Bring it back here at home. This is a serious crash that just reported on Hills Drive, the westbound lane near Lead Mine Road. We're seeing a little bit of a slowdown right there on Lead Mine Road, but nothing really that is going to make you late this morning. But just keep an eye on that if you're heading out there this morning. This crash in Sunnybrook Road and Pool Road, not really causing any problems in that vicinity, but we'll keep an eye on it for you. And of course, if you live in that neighborhood, you know exactly what I'm talking about this morning. But traffic is building on some of our major roadways like the Beltline, 85 heading into Bull City this morning. Look at the northern loop of the Beltline, those westbound lanes, really traffic beginning to build. You're looking at a 5 to 10 minute delay. Similarly, the southern loop, we've got traffic building as well. Let's take you out and show you what we're talking about. This is I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. The westbound lanes are moving, coming toward us this morning. Moving, not bad. Can't really complain about that too much, especially this time of the morning. You're heading out 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle.
And more breaking news. An Amber Alert was issued around midnight for 2 girls missing from the western part of our state. Authorities in Haywood County are looking for 12-year-old Alize Rose and 3-year-old Kinley Stepp. They were taken from Waynesville. Authorities believe they may be with Jacob Grant Aaron Stepp. Jacob Stepp is 46 years old. He has brown hair and green eyes and tattoos on both shoulders. He may be driving a white Dodge Challenger with black racing stripes. It has NC tag number KMC 5951. If you have any information, call 911. And 1 person was killed in a tractor-trailer crash overnight on I-85 South. This happened in Warren County. The vehicle caught fire as a result of this crash. State troopers say this happened around 2 o'clock this morning in Warren County near Poplar Mountain Road near Norlina. We are working to learn what led to that crash.
This morning, Cary police are investigating what led to 3 people being killed and found dead together in a home. This is video from Sky 5 above the crime scene on Smokemont Drive yesterday. Let's go and bring in WRAL's Kelsey Coffey. She's in Cary this morning. Hey, Kelsey, late last night, we learned new information about the people who died.
Yes, Chris, we just learned that 2 of those people that were found dead in that home were 19 years old. And this morning, we're asking Cary police here whether those people could be connected. So we'll take you straight to video now from that scene that was active for more than 8 hours. You could see officers investigating at that Cary home on Smokemont Drive. Police released the names of the people who were found dead late last night. 54-year-old Erica Holton, 19-year-old Xavier Holton, and 19-year-old Amina Guy. Sky 5 flew over the scene during the investigation. The home was surrounded by crime scene tape with 2 cars still in the driveway. We're still working to find out what led up to this shooting, but police say there is no threat to the public at this time. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
A bus driver accused of breaking a 3-year-old's leg will be in Wake County courtroom today. Tiffany Truesdale faces a felony charge of child abuse inflicting serious injury. WRAL's Laura Levine is live at the Wake County Courthouse. Laura, Truesdale is accused of doing this while transporting the child from a preschool.
Tiffany Truesdale will make her first court appearance here at the Wake County Justice Center later today. We know that she is a Zebulon bus driver who has been charged with injuring this 3-year-old child. Taking a closer look at the charges there, you can see Truesdale was charged with intentionally inflicting serious physical injury. She's being accused of breaking this child's leg. Court documents state that she was caring for the child as the bus driver, transporting the student from Durant Elementary to a child care facility when the injury occurred back in September. Truesdale works for Student Transportation of America. That's an independent transportation service. Now, she remains in custody with a $75,000 bond. Her court appearance is scheduled for 1:30 this afternoon. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Raleigh.
Lawmakers return this morning to the General Assembly, where you are looking live this morning. Today, the House is expected to vote to override Governor Cooper's veto of House Bill 10. Well, that's the bill that would drastically expand funding for private school aid. And by expand, I mean the state spending hundreds of millions of dollars more each year. However, the bill doesn't cover funding for possible enrollment increases in public schools. It does, however, clear the current tuition voucher wait list. Last year, a legislature vote allowed all North Carolina families to qualify for those vouchers. Governor Roy Cooper says the money would be better spent on Helene relief funding. A protest against the bill is set for today. That is outside of the General Assembly.
Another aspect of the bill would require sheriffs to comply with requests from federal immigration agents and detain people suspected of being in this country illegally. Protesters gathered outside the General Assembly last night to express their concerns with that legislation. And coming up in 30 minutes, we'll hear from people who say the bill could separate families and also hurt the state's economy. And the WRAL News team will keep you updated on this story throughout the day. Make sure to tune in during our newscast from 4 to 7:30 this evening on WRAL.
The House Ethics Committee will meet tomorrow at the U.S. Capitol, where you're looking live today. Members could vote on whether to release their report on President-elect Donald Trump's pick for Attorney General. Former Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz is accused of sexual misconduct and illicit drug use. This includes allegations that he had sex with a 17-year-old at a party in 2017. That would have been 6 months into his congressional term. These are allegations he denies, but still the committee is looking into it. A lawyer representing 2 women who testified to the ethics committee say Gaetz paid them for sexual favors as well.
And Jeff, welcome to the WRAL Live Center with some brand new exciting information coming out of the Biden administration here this morning. And I want you to just take a look at the headline. This comes out of the world of manufacturing and the semiconductor industry. This Chips for America announced a new proposed $285 million going towards a manufacturing institute in the USA, headquartered in North Carolina, but not just North Carolina, in Durham. This is going to go $285 million. There is a combined total funding that could reach $1 billion out of all this. It'll be called Smart USA. It is an advanced research center here as chips manufacturing in the USA is taking advantage of an opportunity. There were 3 separate areas that kind of were going for this position, and it has been awarded technological leadership on the world stage. The experts are saying that depends on the ability to collaborate with the best and brightest around the globe. They have chosen right here in Durham for this to take place. So we'll have a crew in Durham. The governor will be there for this announcement at 9:30 this morning. We'll have live reports coming up for you at noon, as well as follow along WRAL.com as this story develops.
Very timely for Durham, especially since Wolfspeed announced that it was going to be closing its facility in Durham that manufactures those. All right, thank you, Jeff. An SUV hit and killed a bicyclist in Fayetteville. Police responded to that scene around 5:30 last night. That was on Ramsey Street, if you're familiar. Investigators say the man was trying to cross the street when the SUV struck him. The man died in the hospital, but police have not said if the driver will face any charges. We are working to learn the name of the victim.
Today, Raleigh City Council will take the next steps and plans to add an Omni Hotel to the upgraded Raleigh Convention Center site. Omni plans to build a 550-room hotel on South Street. It'll also have 55,000 square feet of meeting space, along with a spa and a rooftop pool. The Raleigh Convention Center says it needs the hotel to help it secure more events. It says the new hotel will not only be beneficial for out-of-town guests, but Raleigh residents as well.
It's also got a lot of offerings for locals. It's directly across from the theater, and they're going to have a fine dining restaurant and our first sports bar downtown. So that's kind of fun.
And the city plans to invest $75 million in tax revenues for the project. The goal is to finish the project by the end of 2028.
Your time is 8:10. 3 people are dead because of a stabbing spree in Manhattan. This morning, what we know about the man now in custody, who police say is responsible for these attacks.
And today will be the last day of sunlight for months for a part of Alaska. Meteorologist Chris Michaels explains why and how the amount of daylight will change here in the Triangle.
And tracking a front that's likely to bring us some rain tomorrow, but even this afternoon, some of the rain in South Carolina will lift into part of the viewing area. I'll show you who could see a few light showers coming up. 8:14, big changes coming our way. It's going to be a mild day today and even tomorrow as well. Cold front comes in. We will see some light showers in some of our southern counties today and then a round of some showers tomorrow. But the amount of rain that we see out of this front is going to be pretty minimal. The bigger deal is going to be the wind, gusting 30 to 40 miles per hour starting Wednesday night, lasting into the weekend. Colder temperatures, lows down in the 30s and highs in the 50s, and some wind chills that are going to feel awfully cold for us, especially Friday and Saturday morning. We take a live look at downtown Raleigh, and it's fairly mild. We get mid-40s to around 50, so it's a pretty pleasant start this morning. We are seeing a good bit of cloud cover ahead of our front. 52 is our temperature in the Triangle, and we'll climb into the low 70s for highs this afternoon. Here's a look at where the rain is right now. Down here in Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina. This rain in South Carolina is likely to lift northward into our southern counties starting around lunchtime and into the afternoon. It looks like there's a lot of rain with this, and there is, but a lot of this rain is actually going to end up staying south or going north with the low, which is way up closer to the Great Lakes. So here's what it looks like for us. We kick things off this morning and roll it through the afternoon. And you can see just a little bit of light rain down to the south, possibly, lifting up closer to the Triangle area at some point, maybe later on in the evening. But the amounts that we see today will be very, very light. Nothing to be too concerned about. Around town today, 72 in Raleigh, 71 in Durham, and 73 in Fayetteville. Even with the cloud cover, it'll be a mild day. Love this one. Joel Powell sent us this gorgeous sunset there at Hyco Lake. So pretty. That's a place a lot of people around here like to go and visit. Go to WRAL.com, search Weather Watchers, and send us your photos. 72 today, 73 tomorrow, and then things really change. Notice the morning lows in the 50s. Afternoon highs are going to be in the 50s starting on Thursday. The wind is going to start to whip, and the overnight lows will drop into the upper 30s. So here's how that happens. Our cold front and low zip to the east, open the door to some air that comes right out of Canada, and that's going to make things feel a lot colder. The gusty winds behind the front are going to be significant for us. Starting Wednesday night, gusting 30 to 40. That continues all the way through Friday. A little lighter on Saturday, but not much. So expect it to feel windy to breezy. That's going to affect the way that it feels at the Christmas party. If you're going to be lining Fayetteville Street or Hillsborough Street, at parade start time 35. But if you're going early to get a really good spot on the street, probably going to feel a little bit more like freezing. So just make sure you bring the blankets, the hats, and all of that. And speaking of feeling like winter, how would you like to see the latest sunset right about now? Meteorologist Chris Michael is coming up to talk to us a little bit more about how dark it gets early there in Alaska. Okay, so after the Christmas parade on Saturday, we do have some warmer temperatures coming up. We'll take a sneak peek at the Thanksgiving forecast. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now at the WRAL Traffic Center. We want to start outside of the Triangle, mainly talking about around North. We want to remind you that we've been reporting on this crash overnight into this morning since we got on the air. Deadly crash on 85 South. Well, those lanes are still shut down as of this hour. We're being told that about 8:30 these lanes should reopen. So if you have friends or family coming in from the north and trying to take 85, I would let them know to take 95 as of right now. I'll keep an eye on it for you. Here in Wake County, we're seeing this Williams Street crash right there. It's causing a little bit of a slowdown there on Williams Street, but nothing that's going to make you late this morning. Also, the serious crash on Hills Drive on Lead Mine Road. Not seeing any problems in that area. It's in the neighborhood, but just be mindful of that police activity in that area. This crash on Pool Road and Sunnybrook Road cleared just a few minutes ago, so you don't have anything there to worry about. Elsewhere, we're seeing traffic really building up on the northern loop of the Beltline, I-885. We checked the sensors this morning. You're looking at a 5 to 10 minute delay heading into the Bull City. As far as the Beltline this morning, this is what it looks like on the northern loop of the Beltline, the westbound lanes of Capitol 440 coming toward us this morning. So things are moving on rather smoothly. 101.5 HD3, that's where you can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle.
New this morning, the race for a seat on the state Supreme Court is now separated by 623 votes. Democrat Allison Riggs leads Republican Jefferson Griffin. Griffin is suing state election leaders. He claims they are not providing him public records. However, WRAL obtained emails showing his attorney canceled a request for a court hearing. Election officials tell us that's because they already provided all the requested records.
A 51-year-old is in custody in New York after police say he killed 3 people during a stabbing rampage across Manhattan. Surveillance video captured the man identified as Ramon Rivera on the street, handling a kitchen knife that police say he used to stab his victims. Police say Rivera then moved across the city, fatally stabbing a 36-year-old construction worker, a 68-year-old fisherman, and a 36-year-old woman. In all 3 cases, police say no words were exchanged and nothing was stolen. Rivera has an extensive criminal record with 8 arrests in the last year. City officials say he has a documented history of mental health issues. He now faces 3 murder charges. And firefighters in New Jersey are working to fight a new wildfire. That's as New York City and 10 other counties in the state declared drought warnings yesterday. Sean Langiel takes a look at when much needed rain may come.
In order to break a worsening dry spell that's amplifying fire risks, much of the Northeast is in desperate need of one key ingredient: rain.
I've never seen it this low.
The situation is growing dire, especially in portions of New York and New Jersey. New York City and 10 other counties in the Empire State declared drought warnings Monday.
It's hard to believe that we'll be talking about brush fires and droughts in New York City. But the reality is that this past October and November saw the second longest rainless streak in city records.
Bone-dry forests also recently triggered New Jersey's governor to declare a drought warning statewide. Residents in impacted regions are being asked to do what they can to conserve water. This comes as a new blaze erupted Monday in Hainesport, New Jersey, not too far from Philadelphia. The flames rising near several structures, prompting crews to quickly set up containment lines to try and save them. Meanwhile, containment of the Jennings Creek wildfire is also being bolstered along the New York-New Jersey border, but the continued lack of water is still keeping many on edge.
Normally, we'd have from September until now about 10 inches of rain, and we've only received about 2.5 inches of rain.
It's not just low reservoirs causing concern. Environmental protection officials say the entire New York City water system is in dire need of replenishment.
The New York City system is at 63% capacity right now. Normally it would be about 79% capacity.
While some rain is expected in portions of the Northeast later this week, whether the weather brings any relief is yet to be seen.
That was Sean Langiel reporting. Okay, so you might think that we're losing daylight quickly, but let's put things into perspective. The northernmost point in the United States will go without it for the next 2 months. Meteorologist Chris Michaels joins us here with a look at the town experiencing that. Chris, perpetual twilight sounds very metal for that area.
It really does. Sounds like a good metal band name, right? So yeah, a lot of darkness there. We get a little bit of twilight, but this is what you're looking at in Barrow, Alaska, or formerly known as Barrow. This is the northernmost point of the U.S., and this is pretty much what they're going to see for the next 2 months. So here's why that happens. The Earth relative to the sun is tilted at about 23.5 degrees. So the sun's rays now in our orbit, they're below the equator, so they're not quite reaching that far to the north. So the sun set yesterday in the town formerly known as Barrow, and it won't rise again until January the 22nd of 2025. What this means for us is that winter is coming, and the solstice is December the 21st. So we continue to lose daylight here at about 30 minutes over the course of the next 4 weeks. Good thing is, after the solstice, we gradually start to see daylight increasing. But speaking of winter, we were talking about it a lot yesterday. Our winter weather outlook is live right now on WRAL.com.
All right, thanks, Chris. And we'll stay on the winter theme here. We may not be getting snow around here anytime soon. So snow lovers, imagine you are here in Washington State. As of yesterday evening, 11 inches of snow are on the ground there. A group of snowboarders made use of the fresh snow across the street from a ski resort, and they created a small run, saying it'll make do until the resort actually opens. Meteorologists believe there will be above average snowfall in that area due to a weak La Nina trend.
Your time is 8:23. Just ahead, we are staying on top of several breaking news stories this morning, and one of them, 3 people found dead in a Cary home, including 2 19-year-olds.
And an Amber Alert issued for these 2 girls in the western part of our state. What you need to be on the lookout for.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. We are starting off cloudy, but we're going to warm up into the 70s again today. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with a look over North Hills.
A little cloudy right now. We did have clear skies early this morning, but the clouds have rolled in, tracking a front that comes through tomorrow. But the clouds are already here ahead of tomorrow's front. It is mild, 48 in Lewisburg, 49 Fayetteville, 51 in South Hill as you're heading out the door, but it will be mostly cloudy for the rest of the day. We have the potential for some light rain in our southern counties, so that would be from the Triangle area southward, but it is light. I mean, very little rain actually will add up in the rain gauges, and it does stay warm this afternoon. Highs in the low 70s. We'll talk a bit more coming up on Fox 50 about tomorrow's front. Ken?
Happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're going to start outside, give you a live look at I-40 and Lake Wheel Road. The westbound lanes coming toward us, moving along rather nicely this morning, which is good, especially if you're about to head out and that's part of your morning commute. Yeah, you see the southern loop of the Beltline, things looking good. Many congestion building on the northern loop as well as Capitol Boulevard, and of course those 885 lanes heading into the Bull City this morning. I'll have an update at the bottom of the hour on your morning commute over on Fox 50.
Thanks, Ken. A Zebulon school bus driver charged with injuring a 3-year-old child is due in Wake County Court today. Tiffany Truesdale is charged with intentionally inflicting serious physical injury. She works for an independent transportation service. And an Amber Alert was issued around midnight for 2 girls missing from Haywood County. These are them. Authorities are looking for 12-year-old Alaze Rose and 3-year-old Kinley Stepp. Authorities believe they may be with 46-year-old Jacob Stepp. He has brown hair, green eyes, and tattoos on both shoulders. Next on Fox 50, 3 people were found dead inside a Cary home. Who police identify them as?
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Now at 8:30, we are staying on top of several major breaking news stories this morning. First, 3 people found dead in a Cary home. What police are telling us about the people they found.
Plus, a search for 2 girls missing from the western part of our state. This morning, what you should watch for while an Amber Alert is in place.
And a bus driver charged with breaking a 3-year-old's leg while taking them to child care in Wake County. What authorities say happened ahead of her court appearance later today.
And some light rain is likely to roll through part of the viewing area later on this afternoon. I'll show you who could see it and how much.
Welcome in on your Tuesday morning, November 19th. Closer and closer to Thanksgiving. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Chris Loving. Though Tuesday, I would argue the worst day of the week. It's not Monday. It's not midweek. But you know what? Any day we have Elizabeth Gardner here getting us your weather forecast, that's a pretty good day to me.
Oh, you guys are sweet. Hey, how about for you guys, the warmest day of the week? And then after that, well, tomorrow actually will be fairly mild, but the cold front will be coming through. We take a live look at downtown Raleigh. The flags here at the Legislative Building are not really moving much, so our wind is light. Appreciate that while we have it, because starting tomorrow night, the winds are going to start to howl around here. 52 is our current temperature currently. We'll take a look at our potential for some rain later on today, starting around lunchtime or early afternoon. We could see some isolated showers down here in our southern counties. We could see that as far north as Raleigh, but the bulk of what we see will be down closer to the Virginia line. Not a lot of folks seeing the rain today, and the amounts that we'd see would be about 1/10 of an inch. It will be a warm one, though. High temperatures in the low 70s. And again, we're going to talk more about the wind and the cold that are going to come in behind this front coming up. Ken?
All right, what's been happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center? I want to continue to remind folks about that shutdown of I-85 up around North Line. It's up around Warren near the Virginia line as a result of an overnight crash. If you have friends coming in this morning from Richmond or from D.C., just let them know to stay on I-95 because initially we were told that those lanes would open at around 8:30. It's 8:32 now. Still seeing purple on the map, but I'll keep you updated, of course. Back in Wake County, this serious crash we've been monitoring there at Lead Mine Road, not causing any problems for you this morning, but I wanted you to know about it. Now, down on Apex, we're seeing this crash on William Street in the southbound lane and Olive Chapel Road. Here again, we're not seeing any problems for you to report, but just watch for that police activity if you happen to be in the neighborhood. Of course, you're seeing the traffic building on 885 heading into the Bull City this morning. Check the sensors. You'll look at maybe a 5 to 10 minute delay, depending on how soon you get to that particular area. Of course, we're seeing the congestion building on those northern loop of the Beltline this morning. Let's take you out and show you what we're talking about this morning. This is I-440 and Capitol Boulevard. These are the westbound lanes coming toward us this morning. So keep that in mind as you're about to head out and if that's part of your commute. Hey, if you're heading out, tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. You listen to us anywhere in the Triangle.
Investigators in Haywood County are trying to track down two missing girls from the western part of the state. An Amber Alert was issued for 12-year-old Alize Rose and 3-year-old Kenley Stepp. Investigators say they were taken from Waynesville. They're believed to be with Jacob Stepp. We don't have an image of him. Jacob Stepp is 46 years old, and it's unclear if and how he's related to Kenley, though their last name, they are the same. He has brown hair and green eyes and tattoos on both shoulders, and he might be driving a white Dodge Challenger with black racing stripes. It has the NC tag KMC 5951, but investigators say the tag is fictitious, not real. If you have any information, you should call 911. One person was killed in a tractor-trailer crash overnight. This happened on I-85 South in Warren County. Let's show you some images here. The vehicle caught fire as a result of this crash. State troopers say this happened around 2 a.m. in Warren County near Poplar Mount Road near Norlina. WRAL is working to learn what led to this crash.
This morning, Cary police are working to learn more about 3 people found dead together in a home. Sky 5 flew over the scene on Smokemont Drive yesterday. And WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is in Cary this morning. And Kelsey, late last night, we've learned the names and the ages of the people who died.
Yes, Michelle, we just learned that 2 of those people that were found dead in that home were 19 years old. And this morning, we're asking Cary police here whether those people were connected. Let's take you straight to video now so you can see that scene that was active for more than 8 hours. You could see officers investigating at that Cary home on Smokemont Drive. Police released the names of the people who were found dead late last night. 54-year-old Erica Holton, 19-year-old Xavier Holton, and 19-year-old Amina Guy. Sky 5 flew over the scene during the investigation. The home was surrounded by crime scene tape with 2 cars still in the driveway. We're working to find out what led up to all of this, but police say there is no threat to the community. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
Today, a bus driver accused of breaking a 3-year-old's leg will be in a Wake County courtroom. Tiffany and Truesdale faces a felony charge of child abuse inflicting serious injury. As WRAL's Laura Levine explains, this reportedly happened while Truesdale was driving the child between schools.
Tiffany Truesdale will make her first court appearance here at the Wake County Justice Center later today. We know that she is a Zebulon bus driver who has been charged with injuring this 3-year-old child. Taking a closer look at the charges there, you can see Truesdale was charged with intentionally inflicting serious physical injury. She's being accused of breaking this child's leg. Court documents state that she was caring for the child as the bus driver, transporting the student from Durant Elementary to a child care facility when the injury occurred back in September. Truesdale works for Student Transportation of America. That's an independent transportation service. Now, she remains in custody with a $75,000 bond. Her court appearance is scheduled for 1:30 this afternoon. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Raleigh.
Lawmakers returned this morning to the General Assembly where you are looking live. The House is expected to vote today to override Governor Cooper's veto of House Bill 10. One part of that bill will have North Carolina spend hundreds of millions of dollars more each year on private school tuition aid. Last year, the legislature voted to allow all North Carolina families to qualify for tuition vouchers for the first time. The voucher bill would help clear the current wait list. Cooper says that money would be better spent on Helene relief relief funding. So far, lawmakers have spent more than $800 million on Helene aid. Cooper says they need to inject billions more. A protest will happen today outside of the General Assembly against the voucher bill, and people who oppose the measure say it will pull funding away from public schools.
Now, another part of House Bill 10, Michelle, focuses on immigration. It would require sheriffs to comply with requests from federal immigration agents, requests to detain people suspected of being in America illegally. People gathered outside the General Assembly last night in opposition to the bill. They say this bill could separate families and even hurt the state's economy.
This bill will cause fear, will cause distrust among the community and law enforcement, will not allow women to report domestic violence when they need to due to fear. And a vote against the immigrant community is financially ludicrous for the state of North Carolina.
About 900,000 immigrants live in North Carolina. For a full breakdown of what the bill includes, you can head to WRAL.com and search NC Capitol.
19 North Carolina Central University football players are suspended after this fight with players from Howard University after their game on Friday night. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference announced those suspensions last night, along with 17 players suspended from Howard. An NC Central assistant coach is also suspended. All of the suspensions are for one game. The NC Central players who are suspended, they'll miss the team's final regular season game on Saturday at Delaware State.
Police in Wake Forest are searching for the person responsible for shooting at a home. What you're seeing on your screen here was the scene around 7 p.m. last night on North Taylor Street. Investigators say no one was injured in this. President-elect Donald Trump is expected to attend the SpaceX Starship launch in Texas this afternoon. The company hopes to repeat last month's successful catch of the booster on its way back down. Trump's attendance is a sign of his close relationship with Elon Musk, who owns the company. Musk donated millions of dollars to the Trump campaign.
NASA has concerns about what it calls a potentially catastrophic air leak on the International Space Station. Scientists from the U.S. say the ongoing leak was found in 2019 on a Russian module section of the ISS. And while the U.S. believes this is a dangerous situation, Moscow disagrees, saying the leak is under control and the module is safe. But the advisory committee chair says NASA isn't so sure and says Russia cannot prove that it's fixed. The cause of the leak is not clear. Right now, the focus is on closely monitoring the module.
Today, Raleigh City Council will take the next steps in a plan for the upgraded Raleigh Convention Center site. The plan includes adding an Omni Hotel there. Omni plans to build a 550-room hotel on South Street. The 27-story hotel will also have a 55,000 square foot meeting place, along with a spa and a rooftop pool. The Raleigh Convention Center says it needs the hotel to help it secure more events.
We could record in the last few years that we had lost the potential for 98,000 room nights because we didn't have enough hotels to do it. So we already have potential waiting for them. And as we expand, then there's just exponential need for more rooms.
So if you build it, they will come, but they need a place to stay. The city plans to invest $75 million in tax revenues for this project, and the goal is to finish it by the end of 2028.
Today, people in Apex have a chance to meet the top candidates for the next chief of police. It's happening tonight from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Apex Senior Center. Each candidate will address the audience and then will spend some time with community members. Everyone is welcome to attend.
Time is 8:40. This morning, we'll get answers about the federal response to Helene, the investigation underway into FEMA's preparedness and response to Helene and Milton.
Plus, a North Carolina native who appeared in One Tree Hill and Outer Banks is being remembered. How a theater in Wilmington is honoring the life of Paul Teal.
All right, let's get you a live look this morning at Southern Pines. Don't see anyone out there hitting the links. You'll need to dress in layers again today, but a big cool down has us reaching for that puffy coat. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will tell us when the temperatures will dip into the 30s. Okay, so tell me if I'm wrong here. Without the docks, this would totally look like a Bob Ross painting, right? Start with a little titanium white, the happy little cloud. As you're looking at White Lake and watching WRAL News, available on Spectrum and the WRAL app on your TV or your streaming device. Yeah, Bob Ross, of course, reruns to tell you about the paintings, but we've got Elizabeth here. Not as a rerun, live episode telling you about the weather today.
Oh, that's right. And definitely some happy little clouds out there right now. Later on today, those happy little clouds might bring us just a little bit of light rain. Same thing again tomorrow. Colorful sky there in Fayetteville right now. We take a look at Apex, Raleigh, and Chapel Hill. A little bit of blue trying to peek through some cloud cover, but we'll see more and more clouds as we head through the day today as our cold front gets closer to us. Here are the big things coming our way. Just a little bit of light rain this afternoon in our southern counties, and then in the afternoon tomorrow, more widespread, but really light amounts. And then it turns windy and cold. Our winds on Wednesday night will Wednesday night will start gusting 30 to 40 miles per hour. That continues into the weekend. Temperatures will drop, highs in the low to mid 50s, and we'll see overnight lows in the 30s, and so turning much colder. Wind chill is likely to be an issue for us. We'll talk more about that coming up. But first of all, take a look at the rain across Georgia, South Carolina. Some of this rain in South Carolina is going to lift on up into the southern part of our viewing area. And it looks like there's a lot of rain with this, but once it hits the mountains, it kind of splits apart. Some of it goes south, some of it goes north. This afternoon, expect to see just a few isolated showers that pop up, maybe as far north as Raleigh, but it's mostly going to be, say, Southern Pines, Fayetteville, Clinton, Goldsboro. Those are going to be the areas that have the best chance of seeing some rain. Tomorrow morning, we're not likely to see rain for the morning commute, but later in the afternoon with the front, we'll have just some widespread showers and again, very light amounts of rain, probably going to be, a tenth of an inch, maybe 100th of an inch of rain in some places. But we could see some accumulating snow in the mountains. Once the front comes through, we'll see a strong flow coming out of the northwest. It's going to bring that cold air in here, but once we lift that up into the mountains, we could see maybe an inch or two in our mountains, and up into West Virginia, could be as much as 3 to 6 inches. And folks up in ski resorts there, Snowshoe in particular in West Virginia, I'm sure are getting excited about that. There's a winter storm watch in effect for folks there. Not for us, though. Gusty winds Thursday, 30 to 40 miles per hour. We'll see that repeated again on Friday. Saturday, they may be a little lighter, 25 to 35 mile per hour winds, but that's just going to feel cold. Highs in the 50s with those gusty winds, and in the morning, even worse. It could feel like 29 in Raleigh and 31 in Fayetteville. Right at sunrise on Friday and Saturday morning, could feel like 15 in Boone. But then, of course, temperatures will warm up. If you're headed to the Christmas parade on Saturday, parade start time at 9 o'clock should feel like 35. Temperature maybe in the low to mid 40s. So just make sure you're bundled up out there. It could be even colder than that as we're starting. As you're getting lined up to start the parade. Thanksgiving week looks a little warmer. We're back into the 60s, but right now it looks like just a sneak peek could be the fact that we could have just a little bit of rain. Notice by Monday we are starting to turn a little warmer.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. President-elect Donald Trump is planning to nominate former Wisconsin Congressman Sean Duffy as his transportation secretary. Duffy served in the House of Representatives for 8 years before joining Fox News as a contributor and a co-host. While in Congress, Duffy was a member of the House Financial Services Committee. Trump said Duffy played a key role in shaping and strengthening economic policies.
FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell will face members of Congress today. She's going to be questioned about her agency's responses to Hurricanes Helene and Milton. The House Oversight Committee is investigating FEMA's preparedness and response strategies. Criswell has one meeting scheduled for 10 o'clock this morning, and then she'll testify before the Oversight Committee later in the day.
We now know what caused a deadly explosion at a manufacturing facility in Louisville, Kentucky. Officials say last week's explosion was caused by a failed cooking vessel. Investigators conducted over 100 interviews, and they looked at internal surveillance video leading up to that explosion. They believe the cooking vessel likely overpressurized while it was cooking. 2 people were killed. At least 10 others were hurt in that explosion. The family of one of the victims killed has hired civil rights lawyer Ben Crump to seek justice and accountability from that plant.
Legal action against NC State and Monsanto over Poe Hall is expected to begin early next year. You'll recall the university shut down Poe Hall last year. That was because of tests that revealed high levels of PCBs. These chemicals have since been linked to certain types of cancer. The chemicals were once commonly used in construction. A group of local law firms is looking to hold NC State accountable, and they also want to put Monsanto on the hook for manufacturing the chemicals.
We're just trying to hold the folks that were responsible accountable. We've got hundreds of victims, some of which have even passed away already with horrible diseases, wanting answers.
The attorneys plan to file claims in multiple courts, aiming to secure answers and compensation.
2 Johnston County High School juniors are pushing for change after finding out they no longer can participate in sports. They both attend Johnston County Virtual Academy, which is an alternative program the school district offers, but played sports for the schools where they live. At Johnston County's August board meeting, board members approved a change in district policy no longer allowing students at specialty schools to participate in sports. That includes the Virtual Academy, Early College, and the Career Technical Leadership Academy.
They took sports away from some teenagers that really wanted to play, and that their major decision impacted us on a personal, individual level.
At that August meeting, Vice Chairman Terry Tippett said one reason for the policy change is to maintain the school's athletic classification, the concern being more athletes could lead to playing larger schools.
Jeff Hoden, the WRAL Live Center. I want to address your attention right here to this picture on the screen, because just after midnight, Raleigh police were called to the 4400 block of Capitol Boulevard. It was a single vehicle crash that they were coming up on here at that address. And when they got there, they found out this is a Vivo apartment building. And that's the back end of the truck that crashed into the building right there, as you see on the left lower side of your screen here. They say there was no structural damage done to the building, but a substantial amount of property inside was destroyed. So knocked out some windows and doors and things like that. You can see there's no injuries, though, out of any of this, not from people inside the building or the driver. It was a female adult driver, no evidence of any impairment, no signs of impairment. The driver was ticketed and released.
All right, thanks, Jeff. One Tree Hill actor Paul Teal has died at the age of 35. His family confirms he died Friday after a battle with cancer. Teal was from Wilmington and was well known in the theater community there. The Opera House Theater Company posted this tribute to him. Teal played a recurring character in season 7 of One Tree Hill. He also appeared on Netflix's Outer Banks and other productions.
At least one firefighter was hurt while helping battle a large warehouse fire in Rochester, New York last night. The fire caused part of that building to collapse. No one was inside the building when the fire started. A nearby apartment building, though, was evacuated just in case. It's unclear how this fire started, though.
The home of the Houston Astros will have a new name next year. Starting January 1st, Minute Maid Park will now be known as Daikin Park through 2039. It's part of a new team deal. The stadium opened in 2000 as Enron Field. It was renamed Minute Maid Park 2 years later after Enron filed for bankruptcy. Minute Maid will remain an Astros partner through 2029.
Authorities in South Carolina say 6 monkeys are still loose. It has been nearly 2 weeks since dozens of them escaped a medical research facility. 37 of the 43 monkeys have been recovered, though. That includes 2 more that were caught Sunday. The CEO of Alpha Genesis says the monkeys are in excellent condition.
We'll kick off the holiday season with a WRAL tradition of more than 50 years. It's the annual Raleigh Christmas Parade. Join us live this Saturday morning, November 23rd, for dazzling floats, festive music, and a spectacular Santa finale. All the unforgettable holiday fun starts at 9 a.m. Chris and I will be out there.
Yeah, you better say hi to us, too. All right, so it's time to announce the next winner of WRAL's Holiday Express. Congratulations are in order for Carol Wiley of West End. You have won a family 4-pack of tickets to the sold-out Holiday Express at Poem Park. WRAL is the proud sponsor of the Holiday Express. We hope you and your family have such a magical time. You can tune in tomorrow for our next winner. Good luck to you. Your time this morning is 8:53. Before we head to break, we do have a look at your winning lottery numbers just in case you missed them. And don't worry, we're going to get you another check on your weather and traffic in just a bit.